Okay, confession time. I love candles. And also, candles have personally attacked me. If you've ever walked into a candle store, taken one whiff, and immediately gotten a migraine, same. If you've ever brought home a candle that smelled like holiday cookie magic, and it ended up smelling like burnt plastic and regret, also same. But because you're a thoughtful gift giver who does not want to give someone a headache for the holidays, today we're going to fix that. Hi, I'm Jen. I've been making candles since the 1990s. Yes, the 90s, when frosted tips and low-rise jeans were all the rage. And I've made about every mistake you can imagine. So today, I'm giving you the insider's guide to buying candles that are actually good, not toxic, and not secretly filled with sadness and petroleum byproducts. Stick around until the end, because this is gonna get wild. I'll be explaining completely seriously how one of the biggest candle companies in America is connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, that Jeffrey Epstein. And no, I couldn't make this up if I tried. Every candle has 3 ingredients you need to care about: wax, fragrance, and the wick. That's it, 3 things. But each of those things can absolutely destroy your indoor air quality if you aren't careful. Let's start with the biggest villain of all in the candle world, the wax, aka what you're actually burning. All right, witches, I'm about to break some hearts. Most candle companies use paraffin, which is a petroleum byproduct, meaning congratulations, you're burning dinosaurs. You're basically lighting up Jurassic Park in your living room. And while it sounds cool, it's really not, because paraffin burns dirty. It releases way more soot and can put a whole cocktail of chemicals into your home's air. Your better choices would be 100% soy wax, which is what I use, coconut apricot wax. This one intrigues me, but I haven't really tested it out. Or beeswax, the Beyonce of waxes. She's a little expensive, she's a little classy, she's a whole lot bougie. If the label on a candle says soy blend, that is marketing speak for contains soy, and also whatever else we want to throw in there, which usually means it's blended with paraffin. And companies don't have to tell you the proportions. They aren't required by law to do that. Love that for them, not for your lungs. Also, soy and coconut waxes are more sustainable. They're U.S. sourced, like the soy wax that I buy is 100% U.S. sourced, meaning that I'm kind of supporting U.S. farmers, soybean farmers, when I purchase that. And don't forget, support actual farmers instead of big paraffin. Now let's talk about fragrance. The thing that makes your candles smell like delicious desserts, or cozy sweaters, or beach holiday, which is basically sunscreen and broken dreams. There are 2 main types of fragrance oils and essential oils. We're going to start off with fragrance oils. They're made in labs. Some ingredients are fine, some are not. Many fragrance oils contain phthalates, which can impact hormones, trigger asthma, and bother your pets. If your candle smells like cake batter, cotton laundry, leather, most fruits, anything called champagne dreams, it's probably a fragrance oil. Unless someone is out there cold pressing champagne grapes for fun. And even then, still probably a fragrance oil. Next up, let's talk about essential oils. These are plant-based, extremely concentrated, and about 20 times more expensive than fragrance oils. Sometimes you need hundreds of pounds of plant material just to make 1 bottle of essential oil. For example, my lavender essential oil, I use a organic lavender from Bulgaria. And as you can imagine, it's not cheap. It takes 250 pounds of fresh lavender in order to make my pound of lavender essential oil. I do buy that one by the pound. That boggles my mind. But essential oils smell more natural, burn cleaner, and won't give you a headache unless you're possibly allergic to the actual plant itself. Do I exclusively use essential oils? Absolutely. Is it more expensive? Yeah. Do I cry sometimes when I have to buy sandalwood? Absolutely. Some scents are almost impossible to do naturally. Pumpkin doesn't really smell like anything. So when you see a pumpkin spiced candle, if they are using the base spices, use caution. If you get a headache from it, just don't buy it. Some makers will use things like cinnamon essential oil and nutmeg and clove and what have you to approximate that pumpkin spice smell, and that's fine. Others will use, like pumpkin pecan waffles, and it smells like burning plastic and sadness. Lilac might as well be the diva of the flower world, but when I can make it work, I do. For example, last year I developed a coconut tree scent, and it was purely from essential oils, had none of that fake suntan lotion kind of smell to it. And it was created from a specific blend of essential oils that approximated kind of a coconut smell. It was really interesting. It smelled like coconut husks, and it was delicious. Fun fact, the wick controls almost everything about how your candle burns, how quickly, how evenly, and how much fragrance gets released. Most mass market candles use cotton wicks with a metal core. I'll demonstrate that here in a moment. And while lead wicks were banned in 2003, why were they even ever a thing? Can someone explain that to me? Some wicks still contain trace amounts of metals. This is why I use wood wicks. Yes, there is also a metal core holder thingy that they get attached to, but I also know it's in that and can control that. Wood wicks burn cleaner, don't soot up your walls, distribute fragrance evenly, and make that adorable cozy crackling sound that says, I'm a person of good taste who deserves nice things. Here are what my cotton wicks look like. They are all cotton in the wick itself, but there is this little piece of metal down at the bottom. They're fine. I like them. I just don't love them as much as I love my wood wicks. If you want to give a candle this holiday season, and candles are always a safe gift, here's the quick checklist. You're going to want to look for 100% soy wax, coconut apricot, or beeswax. Even if it says natural, if it has the word soy blend on it, you can almost guarantee that there are some natural elements, but there's also going to be paraffin in there. You're going to look for essential oil-based scents. And yes, I do have my friends who are candle makers who make good quality candles with fragrance oils and will differ with me. I'm actually going to try and bring one on here in the coming weeks, but I need to work out details with her, etc. Look for wood wicks. They're wonderful. They're cozy. They crackle. They're fun. They're a little high maintenance, but aren't we all? You're also going to want to look for transparency about ingredients, and this one's huge. It really is. You want to know what essential oils are in there or what fragrance oils are in there. You want to know if my nose is pretty particular, and I can smell the difference between lavender fragrance oil and lavender essential oil, and even different varieties of lavender essential oil, like lavender spike or my organic Bulgarian lavender essential oil. Seriously, it's the best smelling lavender I have ever smelled. If you're really cool, you're also going to look to support small makers like myself, because honestly, big companies cut corners, and your small businesses, your small makers are making better candles. You're going to avoid anything labeled blend without specifying. You're going to want to avoid anything with a strong chemical or perfumey scent. If it gives you a headache in the jar, don't buy it. It'll give you a headache when you burn it. You are going to want to avoid any candles that are going to leave soot trails on your walls or ceiling, like a Victorian chimney. And you're going to want to avoid any companies whose CEOs were best friends with, pedophiles and child traffickers. We're getting there, I promise. All right, time for the plot twist. What do Bath & Body Works, White Barn Candle Company, and Victoria's Secret all have in common? All three of those were founded by Les Wexner, who was Jeffrey Epstein's longtime close friend, Epstein's employer, Epstein's financial client, Epstein's landlord, and Epstein's foundation partner for years. Epstein literally lived in Wexner's guest house in his Ohio estate for over a decade. Even though when Les Wexner retired from Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret, etc. in 2020, he's still chair emeritus of L Brands, the parent company. And don't miss me here, I live about 5 miles maybe down the road, literally down like the road from L Brands, from their corporate headquarters. Look, you can buy whatever candles you want to, but personally, I prefer my home not to smell like, cashmere scandal or fresh linen and federal investigation. But that's just me. So there you go. You are now officially smarter than 98% of holiday candle shoppers. You know what wax to look for, what fragrances to avoid, and which wicks will make your home feel like a cozy woodland cabin instead of a chemical processing plant. If you want candles made from clean ingredients, essential oils, wood wicks, and zero connections to disgraced billionaires, you know where to find Gin and Tonic. It'll be in a link somewhere around here. Happy gifting, happy burning, and may your candles all be cozy and not toxic. If you were wondering about Gin and Tonic's holiday shopping details, I've got you covered, and they start soon. So Pink Friday is on November 21st, 2025. Then we have Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Everybody knows Black Friday. It is just huge here in the States. Apparently it is not worldwide, although it's kind of catching on in some other places, but the grand example of commercial consumerism at its finest. Although we're boycotting most of the big players this year in a point to take on the billionaire class. On both Pink and Black Friday, Gin and Tonic is having a 25% off site-wide sale. Everything in our shop, 25% off. I'll put the link somewhere, again, around here, as well as in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm Jen. Until next week, next week I'll be giving you my 2025 holiday shopping guide, and it will be filled with small businesses that are amazing and places that I actually shop as well. Remember, every accusation is a confession, free Palestine, and protect the First Amendment. And don't let up on the Jeffrey Epstein files release.